Yourself in a good mindset here. Got some math. Grab your whiteboard, your markers. Woo. Shake it out. Switch gears. All righty. I'm going to give you guys a few review questions we have been working on. We worked on division yesterday. We worked on multiplication, a little review. So to review, we're going to start off with some subtraction, addition and subtraction with decimals. And I'm going to turn on my handy dandy, there it is, whiteboard as well. Remember, when you add and subtract with decimals, you always line up the decimal. So I'm going to give you a few problems today as a review before we move on to today's lesson and learn something new. First question, 5.9 plus 2.73. Try that on your whiteboards, please. Make sure you use that rule, addition and subtraction. Line up the decimals. All right. When you're finished, show me the back of that whiteboard so I know you're ready to check your answers and move on. All right, there we go. Now I see some whiteboards. Now I see some whiteboards. There they are. Ooh, there we go. I got a full screen. Oh, that is fantastic. Everyone's got their whiteboards up on this screen. All right, 5.9 plus 2.73 on the count of 3. Let's compare and see if we match. 1, 2, 3, show me. Best you got, let's see it. Oh yeah, lined up those decimals, nice. Yes, 8.63 is the correct answer. If you line up those decimals, the 2 goes under the 5, the decimal, of course, goes under the decimal, and the 7 and the 3. And then you have to put the 0 above the 3. All right, next question. Let's do a subtraction problem. You got the addition. Let's go subtraction. How about 9.62 minus 0.3? Go for it. Little review here. Don't want you to forget what we've learned already. Ooh, got a couple whiteboards up already. Tells me you know what you're doing. Boy, you work fast. All right. There we have it. Ooh, fantastic. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, show me. And ooh la la, there we go. Oh, very nice. Wow, that one looks glow in the dark. Oh, that's very strange. All right, 9.32 is the correct answer. Give yourself a nice little high five from far away. All right. 9.32 is the correct answer. Let's do another one. Now I'm going to make it a little more difficult. Got to remember how to regroup. How about 6.8 minus 1.45? All right. This one might take a little longer. Got to do a little regrouping and a little more thinking here. Put your brain power to work first thing this morning. Ooh, yeah, there you go. That didn't take too long. Wow, I see the back of your whiteboards already. Tells me you are about ready to check your answers. Yes, still lining up those decimals. And remember, if you have a missing digit, always fill in a 0. Show me your answers on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, show me. What you got? Oh, good. The regrouping is working. Fantastic. You guys Uh-oh, I see one digit that might be off. Maria Inez, check your math there, babe. We got 5.35. Maybe you wrote down the wrong digit. All right, 5.35, 5 and 35 hundredths. All right, the addition and subtraction seems to be going okay. Let's do some multiplication. Remember, when you multiply with decimals, you're going to count, count, count. Count how many digits are behind the decimal for your decimal problems. All right, let's start with 0.94 times 0.4. There you have it. Next problem for today, next warm up. Here we go. Let's do it. Remember, multiplication. We're doing multiplication. Oh, yeah, this one takes a little longer. Multiplying is hard. Okay, we're getting there slowly but surely. Okay, thank you. I'm looking for a few more. Maybe Aaron Grimm is lost in space there. Daniela Costa. Oh, yeah, she's ready. Michael's ready. Daphne's ready. Okay, got a few more. Oh, I just barely see the top of Travis's head. Maybe I could see his whiteboard when he's done. That's handy. All right, here we go. Final answers on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, show me. See what kind of multipliers we got here. Okay, yes, fantastic. 0.376, also known as 376 thousandths. All right, fantastic. You guys are really, really getting good at this. I'd like to practice each day a little bit more. All right, I'm going to take it up one more notch. I'm going to do double digits this time. 5.3 times 2.7. Got some double digit multiplication, and this will be your last review question with multiplication. So give it your best. Give it your best go here. All right. All right, Soleil, I feel your pain. Stretch that neck. You're like, ah, multiplication. All right, and on answers, boy, I sure wish I had more cameras on. Gerald, Jeremiah, Bruno, Mark, Natalia, Josie, Leah, Alonzo, Eliana, Demiana, Jacob, and Ty. That would be really great. Oh, we have a couple more, Luciano and Anthony. If you guys could turn your cameras on so I can see that you are working here on math with us. Okay, on the count of 3. Ready again. 1. Oh, no, I have a lot of head shakers. Like, no, not yet, not yet. Okay, I'll wait another 30 seconds. Double digit multiplication takes a while. All right, it looks like now we have more people ready to show off their answers. 1, 2, 3, show me. Okay, oh yes, all right, multiplication, fantastic. 14.31, that is 14 and 31 hundredths. Fantastic, wow, you guys have done a great review for this morning. I'm going to give you just one more problem, but then now we're going to review just dividing with whole numbers. And then I'm going to move into today's actual lesson. All right. So one division problem as a nice review, and I'll keep it with a single digit. So 4 into 6,352. All right. 4 into 6,352. Go ahead and solve this one. All right, yeah, division. Ooh, Marina, she's excited. She's got an answer. So does Isabella. All right, and Kaya, I see you guys. We're just going to be patient for about another 30 seconds or so. Let some other people think. Like Leslie and Hayden and Michael. I see them thinking. Sophia, I think she's disappeared. Carlos, I don't see him either. Ah, there she is. Oh, because her whiteboard. Ah, Sophia is there. She looked like a wall. I couldn't even tell. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, lots of folks got an answer. Let's check it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Show me. Show me what you got. Oh, yes, I love that you're showing your work. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm looking at your answers and I'm looking at your work and I'm looking at a whole bunch of right answers. 1,588. Yes, our answers are matching. This is fantastic. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right, we are going to move on to today's lesson. Now that we've had a nice little review, go ahead and clear off your whiteboards. You're going to need a clean slate here to start with. And today we are going to learn about how to divide a whole number and never leave a remainder again. So when we did division yesterday, we were doing division with remainders, lots of remainders. And I'm going to start off with a problem today, 350 divided by 4. And I'm going to show you with the remainder, but I'm going to show you the 6th grade, 5th and 6th actually learned this little trick. 5th and 6th grade way of solving without leaving a remainder anymore. Sometimes the question requires you to answer it without a remainder. So we are going to figure out how this works. For example, 4 into 3 doesn't happen. 4 into 35, 4 divides into 35 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. When you subtract, you have 3 left over, and you bring down the next place value. 4 now goes into 37 times because 7 times 4 is 28 with 2 left over. All right, well, that might be fine and dandy for 4th grade. However, we need to learn how to divide and not leave a remainder. So I'm going to solve the same problem, but I'm going to show you the trick. Okay, 350. Whew. Got a little backwards there for a minute. All right, 4 into 350. And we figured out that 4 goes into 3 0 times, but it goes into 35 8 times. You solve it the same way and bring down the 0. And then you look at 4 into 30 goes 7 times, leaving you with 28 and 2 left over. Now, this is the part where it gets kind of fun because you can add a decimal and zeros afterwards. Okay, we talked about that when we did addition and subtraction, how you can put a 0 after a decimal and it doesn't change the number. So now we're going to bring the decimal above the division bar here, above that division line, and we're going to bring down a 0 next to the 2 so that we can divide 4 into 20. And 4 goes into 20 exactly 5 times. Now there's no remainders, and your answer sounds more legit. It sounds like 87 and 5/10. All right, 87 and 5/10. So now you have no remainders, okay? This is helpful, of course, when you're talking about money and you want to know how much change is left over. If you say remainder 2, I really don't know. Remainder 2 what? 2 dimes, 2 nickels, 2 pennies, what? But here, if you would have $87.50, all right? So, all right. Let's try, I'm going to give you one to try on your own and see. I'm going to erase the example on the left because I don't want you to give me a remainder. I want you to put an extra decimal and an extra 0 to see if you can come up with the correct answer. Let's go with 56 divided by 5. All right, try that one yourself on your whiteboard, and we'll see if we solve it the same at the end. Okay, go ahead, 56 divided by 5. All right, very good. Yeah, that one didn't take very long. Let's compare and see if we got the same answer. 1, 2, 3, show me what you got. Oh, I see remainders. I don't want a remainder though. I want a decimal point. So yes, those decimal points. I see the decimal points. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 6 once. There's your 11, giving you 55. And some of you said, oh, that's a 1 left over. However, that's where you put in that decimal point, that big fat decimal, bring it above the line, and add a 0. Okay, that way you can bring your 0 down and find out how many times 5 now goes into 10. 5 goes into 10 twice. The 2 goes above that 0 that you added. Therefore, you have 11.2 or 11 and 2/10. All right, let's try another one. Let's do another. Okay, give yourself some space on your whiteboard. And try 44 divided by 10. I'll leave that last example up so you can see it and do the next one. All right, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, show me. There you go. Now I see it. Oh, I'm looking. Don't forget your decimal points. That decimal point is super important. Ronaldo, you forgot your decimal point, my friends. If you take 44 and you divide it by 10, 10 doesn't go into the first four, but it goes into the second four times, leaving you with 40 and 4 left over. But that decimal point is super important to bring above the line. And then when you add a 0, then 10 goes into that last 40 also 4 times. Okay. All right. Don't forget the decimal point. I'm going to show you why you can never say to me, I forgot the decimal. Because if I said, I have this much money in my purse, you would say, wow, Miss Bragg has a lot of money. Oh, I forgot my decimal. Oh, there it is. I really have this much money in my purse. Wow, that's not very much. That might buy me lunch today, but that's about it. So there's the difference between forgetting your decimal. Make sure you put that decimal in nice and big and fat, okay, so we can see it. All right, very important that you keep that decimal. All right, let's continue on. We'll do one more example just to show you that this works also with dividing by 2-digit numbers as well. How about 320, I'm sorry, I'm reading backwards again. 232 divided by 40. That's 232 divided by 40. Go for it. Okay. There we go. I'm seeing a few little slides pop up there, a few whiteboards. That shows me that you're ready. If you put your whiteboard by your face, that way I can see you and your, thanks, Jesse. Sometimes I see your whiteboard and I'm like, wait, are they there or is that a wall? I'm not sure. All right, if you stick it next to your face, I really like to see both your face and that you're finished. Thank you. Oh, that's so much nicer. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, show me. See what you got. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Oh, I was worried that double digit was going to throw you off, but nope, I couldn't trick you. All right, here we have it. 40 doesn't go into 2 or into 23. 40 goes into 232. And I'm estimating by going 4 into 23, 4 into 20 goes 5 times. So I start with 5. That leaves 232 left over. You have your nice big fat decimal point there that you're not going to forget. You bring it above the line, add an extra 0 to bring down, and 40 goes into 32 8 times. There you go. 5.8 is the correct answer. For those of you who got it, give yourself a nice pat on the back. We are gonna, I'm gonna pull up your assignments. I don't think I have assigned that yet. I like to assign it after I finish dividing a whole number.
Would be doing reading, and we're going to talk a little bit about reading and writing both today, because I'm going to share something with you here. So ordinarily this step would come a little bit later down the line, but you are going to be doing some writing about reading, and I'll explain. So let me show you my screen. So we're putting together this pirate parent magazine, right? So this is the cover. So it's Pirate Parent, West Palms Conservatory's official parent magazine. So this would be, and by the way, this is just something that I put together. It's not an official thing, although we could certainly make it that if we wanted to. So what we have here is we just have a magazine, and the layout is already done for us, which is cool. Obviously, these pictures aren't related to anything that we're doing, but this is an example of expository writing, right? So we have a magazine, which is a nonfiction or expository form of writing, and we need to generate some content for it. So how do we do that? So we're basically going to run just a real mini journalism school, and it ties in a lot to what we're doing today. So what I want to do right now is let's go to, we're going to talk a little bit about how to prepare for this, because everybody is going to write an article, and I'm going to step by step, as best I can, walk you through that process. So today we're combining the reading and the writing, and I'll explain what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. But for right now, your code is up on the screen. It is UCDPZ. So this lesson is going to be divided into two parts. We're going to talk about structure, how to organize our writing, because that's an important conversation to have before we dive in and start writing. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about how I want you to structure your magazine article. So it's definitely going to be a crash course this morning. So for those of you who will feel lost, that's okay. I'm throwing a lot at you, and as long as the effort is there, we're good. Those of you who are sort of chomping at the bit to do some writing and express yourselves, perfect. This is the ideal opportunity for you. Sometimes it helps to be in a hurry. Crisis situations can bring out the very best or the very worst in people. Okay, we got about 70 people in. And let's go ahead and start. All right, so we're talking about organization in our writing. So before we begin, I want to ask you a very direct and simple question. How do we become confident in ourselves as writers? So writing is one of those things that people fret about. They sort of, there's always this sense of inadequacy, like, oh, I'm not really a good writer, I'm this, I'm that. It's one of those things where it's my experience that people are usually better writers than they think. But my question to you is, how do we become confident in ourselves as writers? So thinking about you and your own experience, what would help you become confident as a writer? So go ahead and take just a moment and respond to that question on your whiteboards, okay? So go ahead and write the response to this question on your whiteboard. I'll give you 2 minutes. So how do we become confident in ourselves as writers? What skills do you think you would need or have to have in order to feel confident in yourself as a writer? So take about 2 minutes. how do we become confident in ourselves as writers? Okay. When you are finished, just go ahead and hold up your whiteboard so I can see. How do we become confident in ourselves as writers? What skills do you think you would need? Let's see here. I think you need a mind that's creative to write. Okay, good. I would, I think that's true in some cases. But like I said, a lot of writing is structure. And if you know how to structure your writing, that's where the ideas come in. And good. Excellent. Express yourself. Yeah, absolutely. We become confident as writers by anything we have to be able to do if it's great. Okay. To express yourself. Okay. Good, good. To never stop trying. Yeah, a lot of writing is persistence. But the good thing about this is when you have tools to write, when you are putting together your writing before it hits the page, if you have a good idea of how to structure that, it makes that a lot easier. When we show and feel good about it, okay, by taking our time, by keep doing your best and trying hard, practice, being able to read, write, and imaginitate. Did I read that correctly? Cool. All right. Good, good. Okay, let's move on. So effort is certainly a big part of writing, but what you want to be able to do is you have to have skills for when you're writing. So the effort is a big part of that, and that's something that you need to be mindful of, the effort, the trying, and how do I do this? But if you have certain tools, right? It would be like you trying to build a house if you didn't have any tools. But if you have a hammer, if you have a saw, if you have nails, you have all the materials that you need, it's going to make that process a whole lot easier. Okay. So how do you become, let's go back to this question here. How do we become confident in ourselves as writers, right? Well, we need to have tools. We need to have as many tools available to us as possible because it takes in some ways, it takes the mystery of writing is always going to be there. But organizing your writing is a big part of the writing process. And the reason that we do that is it helps you keep things straight. So step one is making sure that you have things straight. Because if somebody is going to read what you're writing, they need to be able to keep it straight as well. So we want to eliminate those mistakes before they find their way onto the page. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So here is our first task. So you'll see, or hopefully you see a tree map on the left-hand side. And to the right, we have a list of facts about rabbits. So if we were writing something expository, a report of some kind about rabbits, okay? We'll say for the sake of argument that we read just a little short book and we pulled all of these facts that are over here on the left-hand column. We pulled all of those facts from our book. Now what we have here is we just sort of have like a random assemblage of facts about rabbits. So before we can start writing about the rabbits, we need to be able to classify these, this information. So what I did in this tree map here is I came up with these different categories: habitat, diet, or what the rabbits eat, So habitat is the area where someone or something lives. The diet, those are the things that they eat. The classification, that's the science part of it, like what type of animal is it? And then the physical characteristics of a rabbit. So what are some of the characteristics that define a rabbit? So I'm putting together this report. What I want you to do right now is I want you to find the facts over here in the right-hand column that relate to habitat or where rabbits live. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at all of these facts in the right-hand column, and there's, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like there's about 14, 15 of them. Find the ones that relate exclusively to habitat or where rabbits live, and then go ahead and type them in the response column, okay? So we're just dealing with habitat here. So find the facts that relate to habitat and then type them in there. So there's a few. Rabbits have whiskers. I don't think that has anything to do with where rabbits live, so I don't think that's a habitat one. Rabbits eat plants. That sounds like more of a diet issue. They have very long ears. That sounds like a physical characteristic. They are warm-blooded animals. That sounds like a scientific classification. Okay, take another minute to finish up. Okay, we'll see if the chat is open here. Let me see if I can get to the chat.
Just opened it for you.
What's that?
I just opened it for you.
Okay, thank you. Could I ask somebody to monitor that for me, because I can't really see it while I'm presenting, and I don't know how to get to it. Okay.
Will do.
Okay, so who would like to, we're just doing the writing only at this point, so no questions about other than what we're working on. So who has a fact that's related to habitat? Go ahead and type that in the chat.
Yes, they live in burrows that they built. They can live in almost any climate.
Yes. So if I am putting my habitat facts here, rabbits have whiskers. Nope, that sounds like a physical characteristic. Rabbits eat plants. That would go into diet. So you said they live under brush piles or in burrows. Who said that?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. There are several that are popping up about their habitat, where they live. They live in the desert. They can live in burrows.
Okay, good. Then we're on the right path here. So if they live under brush piles or in burrows, you are 100% on target. Okay, that is a habitat. That's a habitat issue. That's something that we would put. So we would take this fact here and then put it in that first habitat paragraph. Good. Rabbits are furry mammals? Nope. That would be a classification issue. Baby rabbits are born alive. Yeah, I think that would be a classification as well. So what else? Rabbits live in almost any climate. I think that would be a habitat fact as well. So rabbits live in almost any climate. This would be a supporting detail that we would put in that habitat paragraph. And we would also throw in rabbits live in the desert. That would also be a fact or a supporting detail that we would put in the habitat paragraph. So if we're doing this, together, I would just list all of those facts there under habitat. They live under brush piles or in burrows. They live in almost any climate. They live in the desert. So we've talked about habitat. So then we would go through and we would do that for all of these facts, to where we would just place all of these facts about rabbits in the appropriate, under the appropriate branch of that tree map. So then that way, when it comes time for us to write, we have everything neat, we have it organized, and we're ready to go. And then we don't have to spend all of our time worrying about what we're going to write next. We've got it mapped out. So this is the very beginning of a graphic organizer, and we'll get into discussions about the graphic organizer that we're going to use a little bit later. But that's where we're at. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. So I want to come back to this slide. And there is a category is missing. A category is missing. So I want one more category of facts here. And something is missing. So I want you to figure out, look at all of these facts. I need one more category. So here I've got habitat, diet, classification, physical characteristics. I need a category. So I need one of these things up here. I want you to think about it for just a moment and look at these facts and try to determine what's one more category that we could add to our graphic organizer here. Okay, so take about 60 seconds and think about what we could add to that. We need to create a category. We need one more category. Okay, making notes on my lesson here. All right, so chat time. What if we had to create one more category? So we have habitat, we have diet, classification, physical characteristics. We have all of these supporting details or facts about rabbits. What is one more category that we could add there? Adaptation. Okay, good. I like it. I like it. I like it. That was very similar. How they're born. Okay. Species. Good, Jesse. Survival. Drake. Good. Species. Liliana. Good, good. Color. Survival. Fun facts. Okay. color, survival, how they're born. All right, so here, the one that I would add would be protection. Protection. So survival and protection, really like very similar, very similar. I think that you could certainly make a case for survival. Protection was the word that came to my mind. And the two facts that I would put in there would be Arctic rabbits turn white in the winter. And the inference there being is they're camouflaged. It would be difficult to see a white rabbit in a bunch of snow. And then also this one here, rabbits change colors to camouflage themselves. I went for a run the other morning, and I was on top of this big jackrabbit before I even knew it, and he shot out and up over this hill, and I was right out, and I didn't see him. So, but that is definitely an evolutionary trait. So where they, different species are trying to protect themselves. So protection or survival would be my other category. And I would put Arctic rabbits turn white in the winter and rabbits change colors to camouflage themselves. Okay. So big picture. The whole reason that I'm showing you this, and I'm sort of doing this a little bit out of sequence, but to have whatever your topic is, so we're talking about rabbits, obviously, and then each one of these branches of this tree map represent a paragraph. So we just need to make sure that if we're going to talk about habitat, whatever supporting details or ideas we have that we put in this box relate to where rabbits live. The diet, everything that they eat, classification. This is kind of a higher level one, but this is, when we're talking about mammals and kingdoms and phylas and all those things, that's where that one's going to go. And that's an entirely different conversation. So if you're sort of got one eyebrow in the air and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, I totally understand that. And then physical characteristics. So rabbits have whiskers, obviously, they have long ears. And then that last category, if we were to step that out here, it would be survival or protection. So ideally, once you have all of this information arranged, then you're ready to start writing. Okay, so we did that. So here is what we're going to do now. And I'm going to, let's see, what time do we have? 9:45. Okay. Here is what I want us to do. So let's come back to, okay, I'm going to end this.